What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down something all wide receivers need to learn about their route running to create more separation. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it teaches you a few new things. And fellas, any kind of feedback that you have on our videos, any type of video suggestions you guys may have, we always appreciate the feedback, so don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to know everything you should be doing on a daily basis in the gym and on the field, check out that very first link in the description for our ultimate 8-week wide receiver workout plan. You will get 8 weeks of gym exercise and on-field drills with sets, reps, and examples of each exercise. So check out that very first link below in the description if interested. Let's get started with this video. So one thing that wide receivers struggle to do, especially younger wide receivers at the high school level, is get skinny on their routes to make themselves more quarterback friendly. So we're going to be looking at a bad example and then two good examples of this. So pre-snap, right? What does getting skinny mean? Getting skinny means essentially like restacking. Some of you guys have probably heard that before, but that's when you're running a route and as a wide receiver, you're able to get back over the top of this DB and he ends up trailing your back hip. So when I come off a route, obviously in this situation, what do we got? We got a DB who's inside shade and this wide receiver is running kind of like a stutter fade, if you will, or maybe just a straightaway fade. But when we have a DB who's inside shade, what do I need to do? I got to attack him inside. I have to threaten his leverage. His whole goal of being inside shade is to take away the inside. He does not want to let you run the slant. He does not want to let you run the dig. He wants to force you to the sideline because that is his help. So we want to try to give my quarterback on a fade route as much space as possible to throw me open. So off the line, what he does such a great job. He attacks the inside. He closes the distance. He does a great fake to the inside, steps outside the DB's frame, and look what that does. That gets that DB to jump. He knows we got him. But right here is where a lot of wide receivers screw up. They'll get this DB to jump and then they run away from it. They'll just try to go straight to the sideline and run as far away to try to avoid hand contact. We cannot do that because that is exactly what that DB wants us to do. So if I come off the line and I give him this move inside and then I run to the sideline, I'm closing my space down. I don't have space for the QB to throw me open. A fade route is designed like you say, like here are the numbers. You're running the route on the bottom or the top of the numbers. QB's putting this ball between the numbers and the sideline. But if you just run to the sideline, he ain't got no space to fade you open. That is an incredibly hard throw. But also when you take this wide of an angle, that gives the DB more space to recover. Because you see, he runs at this wide angle, so what is this DB doing? He's got all this time. He takes a good angle upfield, especially if it's a deep ball. And that quarterback, that is such a hard throw. You can't even fault that guy for missing the throw because we have no space from the sideline. So fellas, you want to make sure that we get skinny and go hip to hip with this DB off the route. So what do I mean by hip to hip? I mean, when you get this DB to jump inside, you should be almost dipping this shoulder and your hip should go right past his hip. Because now if I'm hip to hip and I stay tight, he's got two decisions to make. He's either going to be trailing me restacked or he's going to be maybe on my inside hip a step behind. And if I get him into that position, that is an easy throw for that QB, and we gave him space to throw me open. So fellas, we have to make sure with my routes I get skinny on this break. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Again, perfect release. That is exactly what you want. We just cannot push and run away. We have to dip that shoulder, stay low, and go hip to hip with this guy. So this is a great example of getting skinny on a post route. So it's the same concept. I know this is an inside breaking route. It is not a fade, but it's the same idea because getting skinny applies not only on a fade, but it also applies on a post, on a dig, on anything that's like over 5 yards, I would say. So he comes off the ball here, gets this inside release on a post. Now, normally what a lot of people would do on an inside release on a post is they would just run away from this guy and go break because it's an inside release and it's an inside breaking route. But the problem with that is that there is spacing. In a real game, you have other guys running other routes. So like, let's say, for example, he's running a post route. Let's say you're running this post and maybe you have the slot wide receiver running a dig. Or let's say maybe you have the slot wide receiver running like a curl or something of that nature. So if you get rerouted all the way to the middle of the field and you run this post and the spacing is off and you only have like 2 yards from this other wide receiver, that route is dead. There's one defender who could guard 2 routes, and that can never happen in an offense. So getting skinny is how we avoid that. So you see, he takes this inside release, but what does he do? Instead of standing up and just running around him, maybe even letting this DB get hands on him and squeeze him to the inside, he dips this shoulder. He stays low. He's using his size and his explosion to his advantage advantage to get back into this DB's cushion. Now, even if this DB stays hip to hip with him, at least when I make that break point, I got some space for the QB to lead me with the ball. But if I just run off and I break, that QB, the timing's off because you shorten the route and you're on the other side of the dang field. You're on the opposite hash when you're catching this post, when it should be almost on before you hit the right hash, before you hit the hash that you're on if you're running this from the outside receiver spot. So great job dipping the shoulder. Great job staying low. And you see what happens. We end up actually restacking this guy, head and shoulder fake, and you see the amount of separation that we're able to get. That is solely from getting skinny on his route. So fellas, you get separation. Let's try to keep separation. You move this DB off the platform with your feet. Let's go hip to hip. Make sure we stay low, dip that shoulder, and get into his cushion. If I don't do that, fellas, don't expect to get any separation on any kind of route like that. Let's play this thing again full speed, and then we'll look at a route from CeeDee Lamb running an out route and why that is important to get skinny as well. So great job here, dipping the shoulder, staying low, being able to restack, and then breaking off on that post route. All right, so now CeeDee Lamb, this is a clip from training camp yesterday. So this is a very, very recent clip. He's going to be doing a dive release inside into like a 10-yard out. So let's play at full speed. So he comes off, dives to the inside, gets the DB to jump. Now he very easily, especially on this out route, could have just ran this thing. Now, when we got a DB, again, he's like about 2 yards off, he's head up. That's when I like to use this dive release. What is a dive release? A dive release is where you take like 2 or 3 hard steps on a 45. So he comes off 1, 2. You make this DB think that we are running a drag. We get his hips to flip and we go outside. Now it is very easy after this type of break right here to stand up with your pad level, to raise up and kind of just run to the sideline. Let's say, for example, the sideline is right here. It's very easy for us to just go around it and we got like a yard until the sideline, until we hit the sideline. Now, if a quarterback's throwing an out route, we know what is he probably trying to do. He's probably trying to lead me. So let's say I'll draw it up right here. Let's say this is the sideline. This is the wide receiver. He's running this out route. QB is here and he's got to put the ball here. And he's throwing it as soon as you break. But if you're breaking with 2 yards to the sideline and he's throwing it as you break, that ball is either going to get picked off because that DB was able to close space, or there's no space to lead him, so he's going to have to throw it he's going to have to throw it behind you, essentially. And if he throws an out route behind you, that thing is picked off every time. So it has to do with your stem. Your stem is how you set this up. So he gets the DB to crash, and look what he does. Hip to hip. He puts himself back vertical. He breaks this thing off in stride. There is not that much of a gap between the two of them. If he would have taken a very wide angle and broke this thing off, fellas, quarterbacks need space to throw you open. So let's make sure when I break up on it, it's an outside route, like an out route, a corner, a comeback. I need to leave space so that QB can throw us open. If I don't leave space, he ain't going to throw me open. So this is a great job here by CeeDee Lamb, getting skinny back on the route, being able to break this thing off, and you see how many steps he has till that sideline. QB ends up throwing it out of bounds. But again, if he puts this good ball on him, that's a perfect route. Got skinny, stayed tight, and stayed in a low explosive pad level position so he could run out. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. So fellas, on every single route, whether it's a fade route, whether it's an out route, whether it is a post route, you have to get skinny off of that release. That is the easiest way to dominate press coverage. You move him off the platform and you make him pay by going hip to hip. Get him trailing you, aka restacked, and that is what can get us space. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback, fellas. Always great to hear from you guys. And again, if you guys would like a full 8-week wide receiver gym and on-field workout schedule, over 500 plus exercises in this schedule, fellas, over the course of 8 weeks. So check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.